The quantum field doesn't respond to your words, but to who you are when you say them. I know that sounds like spiritual bypassing, but stay with me because what I'm about to share will completely flip your understanding of why your manifestation practices aren't working. You've been told that if you just say the right affirmations, visualize clearly enough, or practice gratitude daily, the universe will deliver. But here's the invisible mistake that's keeping you stuck. Every time you plant seeds of intention in the quantum soil, you immediately dig them up with urgency and fear. Think of it like this. Imagine you have an invisible garden where your deepest desires are already planted as seeds. The quantum field is the fertile soil, your intentions are the seeds. But here's what nobody tells you about manifestation. Checking on those seeds every morning, pulling at them with anxiety, drowning them with desperate energy doesn't make them grow faster. It kills them. You've been taught to do more, practice more, affirm more. But what if I told you that your obsession with techniques is actually the very thing blocking your results? Most people approach manifestation like they're trying to force a flower to bloom by pulling on its petals. They repeat affirmations while their nervous system vibrates with lack. They visualize abundance while checking their bank account 5 times a day. They practice gratitude while internally screaming, "Where is it?" This isn't alignment, it's spiritual desperation dressed up as practice. If you've ever felt stuck in manifestation despite doing everything right, you belong in this space where we explore the counterintuitive truth that less effort creates more results. Because if doing more techniques isn't the answer, and I promise you it's not, then what is? The answer will completely shift how you approach creating your reality. Here's what I've discovered after years of studying quantum physics, neuroscience, and working with thousands of people who've broken through their manifestation blocks. The problem isn't that you lack techniques or dedication. The problem is that you're approaching the quantum field from a state of urgency, and urgency vibrates scarcity. The quantum field doesn't care about your perfect visualization or your morning affirmations. It mirrors back exactly what you're being, not what you're saying. This changes everything because it means manifestation isn't about controlling the universe through more practices. It's about unlearning the urgency and returning to a natural state of trust. Think about your invisible garden again. When you plant actual seeds in soil, you don't dig them up every day to check if they're growing. You water them, give them sunlight, and trust the natural process. But in your inner world, you've been treating your intentions like a suspicious gardener, constantly disturbing the soil because you don't trust the process. The quantum field operates on coherence, not force. When your heart and mind are aligned in genuine trust rather than desperate hope, you create what scientists call coherence, a clear, undistorted signal that the field can mirror back to you. But when you're saying, "I am abundant," while your nervous system is screaming, "Where's my money?" you're sending mixed signals that create mixed results. This isn't about perfection or never having doubts. It's about recognizing that the same intelligence that grows trees from tiny seeds and heals cuts while you sleep is the same intelligence orchestrating your manifestations. But just like that tree won't grow faster if you pull on its trunk, your desires won't manifest faster if you pull on them with anxiety. So if it's not about doing more, what do you do instead? That's the question we're about to answer. Let me break this down scientifically so you understand exactly how the quantum field responds to your vibrational signature, not your words. According to researchers like Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza, the heart has its own neural network that's constantly communicating with the brain. When your heart and mind are in coherence, meaning they're aligned in the same emotional and mental state, you create what's called heart coherence. This coherence generates a clear electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body, and this field is what the quantum field reads and mirrors back. Here's where the invisible garden metaphor becomes crystal clear. The quantum field is like the richest, most fertile soil imaginable. Every intention you've ever set, every desire you've ever felt, every dream you've ever had, these are seeds that have been planted in this quantum soil. The soil doesn't judge your seeds or decide which ones deserve to grow. It simply responds to the conditions you create around those seeds. Now, what makes seeds grow in any garden? They need the right combination of water, sunlight, nutrients, and space. In your inner garden, trust is the sunlight, emotional alignment is the water, and space means giving your intentions room to unfold without constantly interfering. But here's what most people do. They plant their seeds with ceremony and excitement, then immediately start overwatering them with anxiety. They check the soil every morning, dig around the roots to see if anything's happening, and wonder why nothing's growing. Think about how this plays out in real life. When you meet someone you're attracted to, what creates connection? Is it texting them every hour asking, "Do you like me?" Or is it being genuinely yourself and giving the relationship space to develop naturally? The same principle applies to money, opportunities, and every form of abundance. When you focus on creating value and trusting the process rather than checking your bank account obsessively, you open space for unexpected opportunities to find you. Those of us on this path are learning that manifestation isn't about forcing the universe to comply with our timeline. It's about becoming the version of yourself who would naturally receive what you desire. A plant doesn't struggle to grow. It simply follows its nature when given the right conditions. Your desires aren't separate from you, requiring force to obtain. They're expressions of your own nature, waiting for the right internal conditions to manifest. The quantum field reads frequency, not words. It responds to your nervous system's state, not your mind's intentions. When you're in genuine trust, not forced positivity, but real trust, your entire being radiates a different frequency. This is why people who seem to manifest effortlessly aren't necessarily using more techniques. They're embodying the frequency of someone who trusts the process completely. They've learned to tend their invisible garden with patience rather than desperation, creating the perfect conditions for their intentions to grow naturally. Here's where it gets uncomfortable, because I need to show you how your most well-meaning efforts might actually be reinforcing the very blocks you're trying to overcome. If you've ever found yourself repeating affirmations while your body feels tense and anxious, you're not alone. Many of us have fallen into this trap of trying to think our way into a new reality, while our nervous system remains locked in the old pattern. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you're saying in your head. It responds to the frequency your entire being is broadcasting. Let's get specific about the behaviors that seem logical, but actually sabotage your manifestations. You wake up and do your morning affirmations, but there's an underlying urgency in your voice, a subtle desperation that says, "Please work this time." You meditate and visualize, but 10 minutes later, you're checking your bank account or scrolling social media, comparing your life to others. You practice gratitude for what you have, while simultaneously keeping a mental scorecard of what's still missing. These actions look like manifestation work, but they're actually feeding the frequency of lack. We do this because our culture has taught us that effort equals results, that more action creates more outcomes, but manifestation operates on a completely different principle. It's like trying to fall asleep by forcing yourself to sleep. The harder you try, the more elusive it becomes. Many people in this community have discovered that their biggest breakthrough came not when they added more practices, but when they stopped trying so hard and started trusting more deeply. If you've ever felt frustrated because you're doing everything the manifestation teachers tell you to do, but still not seeing results, you're experiencing the disconnection between effort and alignment. You're watering your invisible garden with anxiety instead of trust. You're giving your seeds attention, but not the kind of attention that helps them grow. It's like standing over a planted seed with a magnifying glass, inspecting it daily for progress, then wondering why it won't sprout. The very act of desperate observation interferes with the natural process of growth. Take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you will lift a weight you didn't even know you were carrying. You're not failing at manifestation because you lack discipline, dedication, or spiritual understanding. You're not broken, and you don't need to fix yourself with more techniques. You've simply been trying too hard from a place of scarcity, and that trying has become the very thing blocking your natural flow of abundance. Think about how exhausting it's been. All those mornings forcing yourself to feel grateful when you felt frustrated. All those affirmations repeated with clenched teeth, hoping this time they'd work. All those visualizations where you tried to manufacture excitement for a future that felt impossibly far away. You've been working so hard to convince the universe you deserve good things, when the truth is, you never needed to convince anyone of anything. Here's the relief I want you to feel in your body right now. Your desires aren't rewards you have to earn through perfect spiritual practice. They're expressions of your own nature trying to emerge. You haven't been doing manifestation wrong. You've been doing it from the wrong state of being. You've been trying to garden with hurricane energy when what's needed is the gentle attention of sunlight and rain. The quantum field doesn't need you to prove your worthiness through increasingly complex practices. It needs you to remember who you were before you learned to doubt your own creative power. You've been overwatering your seeds not because you're impatient, but because you care deeply about your growth and your life. That caring is beautiful. It just needs to be expressed as trust rather than urgency. If this message is bringing relief to that tight place in your chest, where you've been holding all that manifestation pressure, like this video, so more people can find the same relief. Let's help others discover they can stop trying so hard and start trusting so much more. I want you to pause here and really feel into this question. When you set intentions for your life, are you planting seeds with the patience of a wise gardener, or are you digging them up with the urgency of someone who doesn't trust the process? Let that question settle in your body, not just your mind. Here's an even deeper inquiry. What version of you is actually sending the signal to the quantum field right now? The version who trusts that your desires are already on their way, or the version who's constantly scanning for evidence that they're not? Don't rush to answer this. Sometimes the most powerful shifts happen in the space between the question and the answer. Notice what comes up when you imagine truly letting go of controlling the timeline. Is there fear there? Relief? Both. Those feelings are information about where you've been trying to force outcomes instead of allowing them to unfold naturally. Because here's what we're circling back to, the truth that's been threading through everything we've discussed. The quantum field never responds to your words, your perfectly crafted visualizations, or your morning affirmation routine. It only responds to your being, to who you are in the moment you're interacting with it. And who you are is always more powerful than what you're doing. Now let's talk about how to actually tend your invisible garden in a way that creates real results. These aren't more techniques to add to your overwhelmed routine. They're ways of being that naturally align you with the frequency of receiving. Remember, the quantum field responds to coherence and trust, not effort and force. First, practice what I call the breath of trust. Before any manifestation practice, whether it's affirmations, visualization, or meditation, take 3 conscious breaths as if you already have what you desire. Not as if you're trying to get it, but as if it's already yours and you're simply acknowledging that reality. This shifts your nervous system from seeking to receiving, from scarcity to sufficiency. The quantum field reads this shift immediately and begins mirroring back that frequency of already having rather than desperately wanting. Second, embody your future self in small, daily moments. This isn't about fake it till you make it energy. This is about asking yourself, how would the version of me who already has this abundance walk through the grocery store? How would they respond to unexpected expenses? How would they treat their body, make decisions, interact with others? Start living these micro moments as that future version of yourself. The quantum field doesn't distinguish between large and small expressions of your desired reality. It simply mirrors whatever frequency you're consistently embodying. Third, implement a daily trust check-in. Before you ask the universe for anything, pause and ask yourself, am I approaching this from fullness or from need? If you notice you're coming from need, that tight, grasping energy, take a moment to shift into fullness. Remember something you're genuinely grateful for. Feel into a moment when you felt completely supported by life, or simply acknowledge that you're breathing and alive right now, which means you're already being taken care of in the most fundamental way. People who've applied these principles consistently are seeing profound shifts. Laura stopped checking her business income daily and focused on creating value from joy rather than desperation. Within 2 months, her revenue doubled. Carlos released his obsession with finding the perfect relationship and started enjoying his own company completely. He met his partner 3 weeks later at a coffee shop when he wasn't even looking. For those who want a structured path to stabilize this frequency in daily life, I've created the Trail. It's your step-by-step guide to moving from effort-based manifestation to trust-based creation. You'll find the link in the description, and it's designed specifically for people who are ready to stop overwatering their seeds and start trusting their natural capacity to receive. The key is consistency, not complexity. These simple shifts, practiced daily, create more powerful results than years of complicated manifestation techniques applied with urgency. Let's be completely honest about something that no one else in the manifestation space wants to talk about. There will be days when you slip back into urgency, when you find yourself digging up your seeds again, when trust feels impossible, and you revert to trying to control outcomes. This isn't failure. It's part of the recalibration process. Think of learning to trust the quantum field, like tuning a musical instrument. At first, the notes sound off, discordant, maybe even unpleasant. But with consistent practice, each adjustment gets you closer to harmony. The goal isn't to never hit a wrong note again. It's to develop the sensitivity to hear when you're out of tune and the skill to adjust quickly back into alignment. Everyone in this community is learning the same thing. How to catch themselves faster when they slip into scarcity thinking. How to return to trust more quickly after moments of doubt. How to tend their invisible garden with patience even when external circumstances suggest urgency. Some days you'll water your seeds with pure trust and feel completely aligned. Other days you'll notice you're drowning them with anxiety and need to step back, breathe, and remember the process. The real victory isn't in avoiding these slips entirely. It's in how quickly you return to trust when you notice you've wandered into forcing. Those of us walking this path understand that spiritual growth isn't about perfection. It's about increasing your capacity to choose alignment over and over again, especially when it's challenging. I want to invite you to do something symbolic that represents your commitment to tending your invisible garden with trust rather than urgency. In the comments below, I want you to share one word, just one word, that represents the frequency you choose to embody moving forward. It might be trust, flow, patience, abundance, ease, or whatever word resonates with your intention to stop overwatering your seeds. Think of this as planting a seed in our collective invisible garden. When you comment your word, you're not just sharing with this community. You're making a declaration to the quantum field about who you're choosing to be. You're saying, I'm ready to stop digging up my intentions with anxiety and start trusting the natural process of growth. This isn't just a comment, it's an energetic commitment to yourself and to everyone else on this journey. As you type your word, feel into the frequency of it. Let it settle into your nervous system as a new way of being, because here's what I promised to reveal at the beginning. The quantum field never responded to your words, your affirmations, or your perfectly crafted visualizations. It always mirrored your frequency, the energetic signature of who you're being in each moment. Now you know the secret. You are no longer just a seeker trying to figure out how to get what you want. You are now a conscious gardener of frequency, someone who understands that manifestation happens through being, not doing. You've shifted from trying to control the quantum field to learning how to dance with it, from forcing outcomes to trusting the intelligence that orchestrates all growth in the natural world. This journey doesn't end with this video. Each day is a new opportunity to tend your invisible garden with wisdom rather than worry. Every interaction, every decision, every moment of choosing trust over urgency is you actively participating in your own transformation. The quantum field will continue to respond to the frequency you choose to embody. And now you have the understanding to choose consciously. If you feel aligned with this message, if you recognize yourself in this community of conscious gardeners, subscribe to continue this journey with us. This is your garden too, and we're all here tending our seeds together, supporting each other in remembering that growth is natural when we create the right conditions. More videos will help you keep cultivating this field of trust, exploring new ways to align with your creative power and embody the frequency of your desired reality.